Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today let's solve yet other little question. The description of the question is as follows: that we were given a string n representing an integer and we need to return the closest integer which is a palindrome, and if there's a tie we need to return the smallest one. Uh, I feel that the length of n is from 1 to 18, so I feel n is not an integer. N is a long value but given it in the form of the string. So this is how it works. So if I consider the first example 123, for 123 we do have the closest palindromes as 121, 131 or 111. So I'm just considering 3 or I'll just consider 2, one lower bound and one upper bound. So if we consider 121 and 131, 121 is closest to 123, so our answer would be 121 only. Or in the case if I consider exactly in between number which is 126, so 126 minus 121 would be 5 and 131 minus 126 would again be 5. In this case 126 is exactly in between 121 and 131. In this case what we need to do is we need to return the smallest palindrome. So smallest palindrome that's closest here would be 121 only. So 121 would be the answer over here. So given this, how I would proceed doing this problem is, it's fairly simple. So let me just assume a random example which is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or I'll also consider the other example, that's 9, 4, 5, 1, 1. Okay. So first let me consider this example 123, 45. So first of all, let me write the basic or I'll just write it basic rule for palindromic number. Palindromic check, I'll write it. So what is palindromic number? When we call the number to be palindromic, so if x if it's of even length, like if string is of even length, if x followed by x, then we call it as palindromic length. So the example of x here, if I consider 123 and followed by 321, this is, I'll write mirror of x. So if I kept a value and if I check the mirror value of it, if both of them are to be same, so I'm just saying that 1 2 3 3 2 1 is kept in front of mirror, and in mirror if I could see again the same number which is 1 2 3 3 2 1, then it's called a palindromic number. So for a number to be palindromic, what I'm doing is, so if it's odd, what I'll tell is I'll just leave 3 as it is in my first example, and my number which is to the start or the left portion of it is 1 2. So I'll just say after 3 I'll just take the mirror image of the left part of it, so it would be 1 2 3 2 1. In the other case I'll also specify, if for this, if I consider the example to be 139, if I consider this as an example, for 139 if we done the exact same way which we done earlier, then the answer would be 131, because 3 I'll keep as it is and left part of 3 is 1, so mirror image of 1 is again 1, 131. In this case 131 is not a valid answer, but the valid answer here is 141, because 141 is closest to 131. So what I'll do is, first including the left part of a number, I'll find the left part of a number. So I'll just call size to be my n dot size, and for left part of a number I'll just call int left, long left equal to 0. I'll just specify iterate till my I is less than size plus 1 by 2. Why size plus 1 by 2? I'll just explain you in a minute. So I'll just specify my left here would be left followed by 10, because current left which is there would be left shifted by one part, and the current value that would be added is the number given is n, so it would be n of I minus 0. So this is how it works. For your kind verification, I'll just print my left part of it. I'll just specify how I'm doing that and why size plus 1 by 2 is taken. That would be cleared in just 1 second. So if you consider here, for the left part of it, as I already told you for the example 139, I just need to check for 131 and 141. So you check that the last digit of this should be changed. I mean the last for odd numbers, we need to consider the left part of a number along with the exact middle value. So that's how it works. Then only we'll be able to find the exact answer, because here we need to consider the exact middle value as well. Then only 131, that's not closer to 139, so we'll just increment the left part of it, or I'll just get 13 including the middle value of it. I'll just increment it by 1, so I'll get 14, and after getting 14 the left part of it is 1, so I'll just keep the mirror image of this, then I'll get the answer. So for incorporating the odd case as well, I just took until size plus 1, but if I just make it 1 2 3 1, then I will get till 12 only, because in that case size plus 1 by 2 again iterates till 2 only. So you could check that over here. See, then also I'll get 12 only. So size plus 1 by 2 is written over here to incorporate the odd digits of a number. So that's how it works. And once having done that, I'll also create a private over here. What I'll do is, now I'm having 1 2, but I need to add the mirror image of it to the right part of it. So what I'll do is, I'll just call it generate number and long current number, and I'll call it bool odd. So if it's an odd number, in the case if it's a 139 number, then for generating number we are passing number as 13, because here left part would be 13, but that left part is not required, but we are doing or we are adding that only to increment it or decrement it by 1. So this is the case where we incremented it by 1. In the other case where we could decrement, I mean to say, just for checking the values, as we consider 139, first of all I'll just check it with 131, I'll just check it with 121, I'll also check it with 141. So once we got the left part of it along with the middle number 13, so for obtaining these three numbers, what I'll do is, in the first case I'll just ignoring this middle value, I'll just take the mirror image of left part. In the next case I'll just consider the 13, I'll just add 1 to it, which is 14, and again the left part of it mirror image. Here also it's I'll just subtract one number 121, and other thing which I'll do is, I'll just check it with 99, and also I'll just check it with 101. Why 99 and 101? Because we knew that the nearest numbers that's possible to every hundreds and thousands would be I mean for 100, or for that matter for 98, or I'll just take some example which is 103. For these numbers, or for that matter if I consider 99, so for these numbers the closest numbers that are to the boundaries would be, for 100 if we consider, the lowest number palindromic would be 99 and the highest number would be 101. So if I just consider 103 as a number, the closest number palindromic number to 103 would be 101. So I'll just consider these two cases as well. One is the total number of digits that are present in this number to the power of 10 minus 1 and minus 1 again and plus 1 again, which is to consider this value. So for obtaining these values, what I'll do is, if I'll just check if it's an odd number. If it's an odd number, then the current number is only used for adding plus 1 or minus 1, but it's not required for generating the mirror image. So I'll just change my number would be by equal to 10. So before doing that only, I need to initialize my value with number, so that I'll just add the left mirror image of it to the current number. So I'll just call while number, my val will be, so my val will be into equal to val would be val into 10. It's exactly the same. Current value would be left shifted or multiplied by 10, and the current digit %10 would be added, followed by number by equal to 10. So I'll just return the val from it, and for your verification, I'll just show here generate number of 1 3 followed by, I'll just call it false. No, it's true, because in the case of 139 its total number of digits are odd, so it's true. So I ideally need to get 131. So we got 131. If I just made it 133 and I made it false, then ideally I should get 133331. So I'll just check it if it's working fine or not. So I'm getting 133331. So how exactly is this working is, I'll just show you with the example. If I give 130, so if my current number or the number that's original is 139, then the left part of it, as we seen here already, will be 13. So here what I'm checking is, if my total number of digits are odd, then this 13 is used only for addition or subtraction of one from it, or if we can subtract 1 from it, or we can add 1 to it. So in that case, if it's odd, this is only used for addition or subtraction. In that case, I'm not more interested in adding this 3 again to my number, because if I added 3 again to this number, then it would be of 4 digits. But obviously if it's a 3 digit number, then there are many 3 digit palindromes, and any one of these will be closer to 139 and not 4 digit palindrome will be closer to that. So in that case, I'm just checking if my number is 9 or odd, I'll just divide it by 10. So ideally my 13 would be 1 in that case. 13 by 10 is 1, right? Because we aren't considering double values and remainder is neglected, so it would be 1. So I'm just checking if my number, until it becomes 0, I'm just specifying that my value currently present is already number, that's 1 3, and I need to add the left part of it to the right part. So I'm just specifying it would be into 0 plus number percent 10, which is 1 percent 10 as 1. So number by equal to 10 would be there, and then value will be returning. So this is how generation works. So if I just consider the example 133, and I just specified that it's total number of numbers digits that's present over here, or if I consider the example to be 1335659, then the left part of it would be 133, and the total number of digits in it is even, so odd would be false in that case. So if odd is false, then if true, then only this will be executed. If odd is false, that won't be executed. Then in that case, I just initialize my value initially with 133, and in my iterations what I'll do is, value will be value into 10 plus initial number, this is my number, right? So value would be value into 10, so 1330 plus number percent 10. Number percent 10 is 3, so it would be 1333, and my number would be by equal to 10, so that 133 divided by 10 is 13 with remainder 3, but we won't consider remainder because it's integer division and not double division, so number would be 13 currently. And again here the same would be happening, value would be 13330 plus that would be again 3, so we'll get 13333, and followed by the last value would be here 13330 plus 1, that's ends up giving us 1333 followed by 4 3s and then 1. So this would be our answer. You just understood how this generate number works. So I already found the left part of it, so I'll just call my vector long. I already specified, I'll just increment 1, decrement 1, and then the current number as well. So I'll just call it checkers. So I'll just call checkers chkrs dot pushback generate number, and that's left part of it, along with to check if my current number is odd or even. I'll just check if my size %2 equal to 0, or I'll just call it bool odd is equals to size %2 is exactly equals to 0. If it's exactly equals to 0, then I'll just call it an is not equals to 0. If it's not equals to 0, then I'll call it an odd number, so I'll just pass that here. And as I already told you, if my number is 13, so I'll just copy this multiple more times, and here I'll just add 1 to the left part of a number, I'll just subtract 1 from the left part of a number, and I'll just push it. And I also told you I'll perform it for all 9s and 1s as well. So I'll just call long all 9s to be, I'll just typecast it to long and power of 10 to the size minus 1 and followed by minus 1, and long next, or I'll just call first and last one. Or else instead of storing this, I'll just already push them into checkers. Why again to store them? So I'll just call it checkers dot push back first one and followed by checkers dot push back. It should be chkrs. I'm sorry for that. Chkrs dot push back. Again I'll just call long power of 10 to the power size minus 1. That's first case of it. And for the second case I'll just check it with size, exact size, and plus 1 of it. So that's how it works. And for finding the answer, I need to find out of these 5 which one is closer to my string n, or I'll just convert that string n to long, I'll just call it ln because I'm just converting that string to long, so it would be s to l of n. And I'll just check which one is closer to that n out of these 5, and if 2 of them are closer, then I'll just check out of 2 which are closer to each other which one is smaller. So I'll just call 2 values. One is long answer, which is long max initially, long diff is also initialized with long max, and here I'll just need to return 2 string of answer, so I'm just returning over that. And after this I'll just check, iterate through all the elements in the checkers vector. So how this exactly works is, I'm just specifying that my element, and why is this ampersand? This ampersand is for pass by reference, in the sense that if I modified any checkers vector value within this for loop, the change will be persisted throughout the body as well, and outside as well. If we are accessing the element which is modified, then we'll get the modified value. But if we are not modifying this value, or if we are not using ampersand, then the value will not be modified. And I'm using auto so that it will be automatically typecasted to the default type, which is for a vector. And this specifies that we need to traverse through every element within the checkers. And here I'll just check if my absolute difference of the current element minus ln value is less than or equal to difference. So if the number is less than or equal to difference, what I'll do is, if so I'll just call difference to be absolute of element minus ln in that case, and I'll just initialize my answer with element. So I'll just you just understood what I'm doing over here is right. So if yep, we probably ended up with some error, and that's so here the other thing is, return the closest integer not including itself. So here I just need to check if my current element itself is a palindrome, or if my current element is equals to ln. In that case I just need to continue, because I do not need to return that, so I do not need to obviously validate that in my answer, so I'll just continue in that case. So it's working fine, but potentially there would be an error over here because I'm simply initializing it with element. So I'll just check if my absolute of element minus ln is equals to absolute of answer minus ln. If both the element and answer are from the same distance, or having the same difference, then I'll just initialize with minimum of answer and element, or else I'll just call answer to be equal to element. So I'll just try running this out. So you got it over this position. What we are trying to do is right. So I'm just checking if my current palindromic number minus obviously the numbers that we generated into the checkers are all palindromic numbers, right? So I'm just checking if my current element or current palindromic element minus the long number, difference is lesser than the earlier difference. If it's lesser than the earlier difference, then I'm reinitializing the difference with the current smaller difference that's found. And I'm also just checking that if my earlier answer that's already present, the absolute difference of element from that element to the long number or the number n that's given to us is equal to the from the current element. If that's equal, I mean, if answer the value that's already present in the answer and the current element are giving the exact same palindromic difference, then I'm just initializing my answer with minimum of answer and element, because we need to find the minimum of it. The closest, if there's a tie, return the smaller one. So we just need to return the smaller one. If it's not equal, then I found the smallest difference. So I'll just reinitialize my answer with element. So I'll just try submitting this out. So yes, this did work fine, and we went 100% people with our complexity. So for fairly reducing the complexity of it, what I'll do is I'll just specify my C++ compiler not to import any libraries from C, that I do not need to do it over here. I should do it in main method. I'm sorry for that. So I'll just specify my C++ compiler not to import any libraries from C. That will be useful for printing input, taking input or printing output anything to the terminal. So I'll just specify my cin.tie should be null, so that no library of C should be tied to C++ for taking input or giving output anything. So I'll just try submitting now. Earlier complexity was 0mx already, so there's no use of doing this because we already bet 100% people with 0ms. I'm just sorry for that. It should be sync. I'm sorry for the bad spellings. So it did work fine. I'll just try submitting this out. Yes, we again bet 100% people with our complexity, and even our memory is good enough. So feel free to add anything in the comment section if you think anything is unclear. I'll just try to re-explain that part of which you think is unclear. And thanks a lot for watching the video.